You're standing at the edge of a practice session that actually matters. No noise, no theatrics, just you, the skill, and the quiet truth that time on task isn't the same as progress. The chapter turns the ordinary into a test. Will you repeat what you already know, or touch exactly what hurts and change it? Here's the knife edge. Easy practice feels good. Effective practice often doesn't. If the clock is ticking and you want growth quickly, what kind of practice earns it? This is where you meet yourself. Keep that image of you and the quiet room in mind. We'll come back to it as your compass. Take 1 minute to choose a skill you care about right now. Peter Hollins writes for people who refuse to wait on talent. His book, The Science of Rapid Skill Acquisition, is a manual for learning faster by being smarter about how you practice and how you design effort. The aim is practical. Turn vague desire into methods that compound. It still matters because your competition isn't knowledge, it's scattered attention and casual repetition. Pick one place in your life where faster and better would change the next month. This chapter sits at the heart of the book's promise. Speed isn't magic, it's methodical practice. It matters now because everything else, goals, plans, motivation, becomes real or dies here. Decide which skill you'll use as you listen. The core message: don't practice more, practice deliberately. Progress comes from targeting weaknesses with intention, clear goals, and immediate feedback, not from mindless reps. Write one specific outcome you want from your next session. First, the chapter draws a hard line between repetition and deliberate practice. Repetition is comfortable, automatic, and often confirms what you can already do. Deliberate practice is purposeful, uncomfortable, and focuses on the exact piece that fails under pressure. Think of playing the same song from start to finish versus isolating the 2 bars where your fingers stumble and cycling only those bars with intention. One builds confidence, the other builds competence. Choose one stumbling bar in your skill and isolate it for 5 focused minutes. Second, break the global skill into trainable sub-skills. Big skills hide small hinges: timing, transitions, setups, recoveries, first moves, last moves. When you chunk the skill, you remove the illusion that everything is wrong. You meet the part that's fixable today. A language learner drills just the tense changes that trip them up. A coder reruns only the function that keeps producing edge case bugs. Smaller targets make clearer wins. List 3 tiny components of your skill and circle the one that holds you back most. Third, use tight feedback loops. Guessing is slow. Feedback is a shortcut. Immediate information, did you hit the target or not, where and why, tells your next rep where to land. That can be a mirror, a timer, a checklist, a recording, or a coach's note. Without it, your brain practices the error and makes it automatic. With it, you steer. Even self-feedback works if it's specific. My pace dropped in the middle, not I'm bad at this. Set up one feedback tool you'll use in your very next attempt. Fourth, set a single, concrete aim for each session. Get better is a feeling. Complete 10 clean transitions at tempo, hold form for 2 minutes, or produce 1 error-free draft paragraph is a target. A session with one aim becomes measurable, and measurement is how you earn motivation instead of waiting for it. When the aim is clear, you know when to stop and what to record. Write one sentence that defines your next session's aim in observable terms. Fifth, practice in the stretch zone. Just beyond easy, not beyond control. Too easy cements stagnation. Too hard wires panic and sloppy form. The sweet spot feels like friction with hope. If you always finish fresh, you undertrained. If you always finish fried, you trained noise. Adjust difficulty by speed, environment, constraints, or complexity so you can make correct reps that still demand attention. Choose one lever, speed, constraints, or environment, and raise difficulty by a notch you can still execute. Sixth, shorten sessions and raise focus. Long, wandering sessions look productive, but leak quality and attention. Short, intense blocks with brief rests protect form and keep the brain alert to error and correction. When you feel precision slipping, your practicing decline. End, rest, reset, return. Quality beats duration because quality writes the program your body and brain will run under stress. Choose a block length, say 15 to 25 minutes, and set a timer for your next practice. Seventh, vary how you touch the skill. While this chapter centers on practice itself, it points to the power of mixing direct doing with targeted drills and realistic run-throughs. Drills build pieces. Realistic practice verifies that the pieces recombine under pressure. If you only drill, you forget the whole. If you only perform, you conceal the weak link. Alternate. Drill the hinge, then immediately run a shortened version of the whole to confirm transfer. Plan one two-step. Drill, then simulate back-to-back. Eighth, reflect briefly and record. A minute at the end to note what worked, what didn't, and the next tiny target turns practice into a chain rather than isolated days. Reflection prevents you from solving the same problem tomorrow and creates a breadcrumb trail of progress your future self can trust. You don't need paragraphs, just 3 lines. Keep, change, next. Open a note and write those 3 headings for today's session. Notice the pattern. Isolate, aim, act, get feedback, adjust, and repeat. It's not glamorous, but it is fast because it eliminates waste. If you only remember one thing, remember that effectiveness comes from touching the exact friction point repeatedly until it moves. This is how practice becomes a lever, not a loop. Decide one friction point you'll touch again tomorrow. So here's your recap. Practice is not a time-based ritual. It's a results-based design. Deliberate beats repetitive because it targets the weak link. Chunking reveals what to train. Tight feedback shows whether you trained it. One clear aim per session turns effort into a scoreboard you can believe. The stretch zone keeps you honest without breaking form. Short, focused blocks preserve quality. Alternating drills with realistic runs ensures transfer. And a 1-minute reflection locks in learning and sets up the next win. Choose the smallest hinge, make it the star, and give it the best minutes of your day. Pick tomorrow's hinge and put it on your calendar now. Before we close, return to that quiet room. You, the skill, no noise. The question from the start has an answer you can feel. Growth happens where attention meets friction. That's where you stand today. What's one tiny, undeniable win you can engineer in the next 24 hours? Share it, then go get it. In the comments, tell me the single micro skill you'll drill in your next session. Then, tap the video on the right about strategic planning so you can design a week of focused blocks that stack. Save this for tonight's practice and send it to one person who needs an honest nudge today.